Under the financial microscope today, Creditinfo Jamaica Limited is pressing the Minister of Finance to include the utility companies on the list of credit information providers. And join us to say why is Megan Deane, the Chief Executive Officer. Morning, Megan.
Hi, Ralston. How are you doing?
I'm good. Raul Pinup from Barita is also with me today.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Good morning.
Now tell our listeners why you want the utility companies to be included on the list of credit information providers.
Okay. Internationally, the utility companies usually form a part of the credit information database.
Yes.
Because they tend to have the largest reach across countries for credit information.
Okay.
They deal in arrears, so they have a history of how people have paid their utility bills or their telecommunications bills.
Okay.
And in many instances, that is the only exposure they have to credit, because they may not have a loan, they may not have a mortgage, and so on. So many countries have not only allowed the utilities to provide data to the credit bureaus, but it also allows the subjects of those credit information to be able to access credit based on their history of payment with a utility company.
Okay.
So it's really in terms of extending the reach of information,
yes,
to the benefit of all parties concerned.
But given that international norm and experience, why weren't they included in the first place?
I believe in the discussions with the legislators, there was concern that their data may be dirty. And when I say that, are you hearing me properly, by the way?
Yeah, man, we're hearing you clearly.
Some distortion on
no,
my
we're hearing you
okay.
clearly.
We're hearing.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. There was concern that the information being sent to the Bureau would not be up to date, or a lot of bills are under query from time to time with the utility companies. They didn't want people to be challenging the credit reports, because, you know, there's a very comprehensive complaint procedure included in the legislation for consumers if something on their credit report is wrong. So I'm certain that the Bank of Jamaica and the Ministry of Finance have charged the utility companies to deal with the situation. What I don't know is if they've set a timeline for them to do that, or if they've come up with a procedure for isolating those bills that are under challenge and so on. But it is critical in terms of ensuring that there's a comprehensive reach across the island for information. And in point of fact, this protocol is so accepted in other countries that were we to add the utility companies to the information database, it actually moves Jamaica up a few notches further on the doing business index that's put out by the World Bank. Having a credit bureau moves you up, and having the utility companies providing data to the credit bureau moves you up even further, because internationally, as I said, there is a net benefit to all the parties.
Okay.
Ms. Deane, what is the ultimate ideal that Creditinfo Jamaica is working towards?
What do you mean ideal?
What would you guys like to see in terms of the functioning of a credit bureau in Jamaica?
Well, it is to be able to allow the credit information providers to make informed decisions, and therefore be able to price accurately, reduce their processing time, and therefore reduce costs, and be able to pass on those cost reductions to the consumer. As I say, international best practice indicates in the 51 countries in which the World Bank has done its studies that credit bureaus make lending quicker, it makes it more precise, and it allows for efficiencies in the system. It also allows persons who have no or limited collateral to still be able to access credit based on the kind of score they have and the demonstration of their responsibility in terms of how they repay. So ideally what we would like to see is credit information being incorporated into the risk management processes of credit institutions, and the consumer being educated not only to fiscal responsibility but to using their credit history as part of the collateral offerings to an institution.
What is a comprehensive list of things that you need to get there that you don't currently have?
Well, pretty much we are covered. The Credit Information Act has quite a comprehensive range of credit information providers, and the only missing component, as we see it, would be the utility and the telecommunication companies, because we are also, in terms of credit information, additional to that, we're also sourcing public information and packaging it so that when the credit information provider accesses information, they're able to get a 360-degree view of the consumer in order to be able to make a much better and a much quicker decision.
Megan, you contended that the utility companies were not included initially because of questions about the integrity of the data. But people also question the information of financial institutions too.
Well, one of the things that the legislation requires is that the information that is sent to the credit bureaus be not only reliable, it must be accurate.
Right.
And so what we have been doing is working with our credit information providers to set the standards for clearance for importing their information into our bureau. So they also have been through a comprehensive process of cleaning their data. But because we're dealing with money and they were probably closer along, and so all they would maybe have to do is make sure that the TRN number, which is our unique identifier, that they have them for all their files, that they develop a process of posting, payments on the day so that it's reflected, or we develop a lag period for the reporting. So any of those little issues do not affect someone's credit report. So we have been working with our institutions because we have the responsibility for making sure the data that comes into the system is reliable and accurate.
So why couldn't the same thing be done for the utilities companies at the same time too?
Well, the utility companies have a much broader database. I mean, a bank might have 150,000, 200,000 records. The utility companies will have 1 million records.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's a much bigger task for them. And then again, for instance, say the National Water Commission, where the obligation for payment is not with maybe say a tenant or an occupant of a house, it is with the owner of the land.
Yes.
They need to make sure that whatever methodology they come up with to send data places that responsibility with the correct individual. So all of those little issues are being worked out, and we understand that it's being worked out. We just would really appreciate if there could be a timeline or put on it so that we can be sure that how we plan to include their data into the database.
Okay. Megan,
we understand, this is having a credit bureau and credit information is a critical part of the financial infrastructure for our country.
Yes.
So we know that the government is committed to that, and that the Bank of Jamaica and so on. We just would, now that we've dealt with the credit information providers, we would like them to be included at this stage, so that, we can move forward with as broad and comprehensive a database as is possible.
Okay. Thanks very much for joining us. We're out of time, but I'd like to thank
Always
you so
my
much for
pleasure.
joining. Okay.
Thank
That was Megan Deane, Chief Executive Officer of Creditinfo Jamaica Limited, talking about the need to include the utility companies on the list of credit information providers.
Time now for the local market update, and join us now is Damien Wizard, Investment Advisor at Mayberry Investments Limited. Morning, Damien.
Good morning, Robin. Good morning, Rahul.
Good morning.
And good morning, listeners. In Friday's trading session, the main JSE index declined by 130 points to close at 84,285. The junior market index also declined by 5.89 points to close at 761. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 13 stocks, of which 4 advanced, 3 declined, and 6 traded firm. Market volume amounted to 1.4 million units, valued at over $9.3 million. Proven Investments Limited was the volume leader with 930,000 units traded, followed by Jamaica Money Market Brokers Limited, 8.75 with 205,000, and the National Commercial Bank of Jamaica with 170,000 units traded. Stocks advancing included Caribbean Cement Company Limited. They went up by 10 cents to close at $2.20. Jamaica Brothers Limited went up by 8 cents to close at $4.88. Scotia Group Jamaica went up by 30 cents to close at $21.09. Supreme Ventures Limited went up by 10 cents to close at $2.70. On the declining side, Carreras went down by 10 cents, Kingston Wharf by 89 cents, National Commercial Bank by 34 cents. And the stocks sold in firm were Barita Investments, Gleaner Company, Jamaica Money Market Brokers Limited 8.75, Jamaica Money Market Brokers Limited 8.5 preference share, Jamaica Producers Group Limited, and Proven Investments Limited 8%.
Okay. Thank you very much, Damien.
Thank you, Austin.
Pleasure.
That was Damien Wizard, Investment Advisor at Mayberry Investments Limited, giving us a roundup of developments in the local equity markets today.
And that's it for Real Business today. Thanks to producers Michelle McCray-Smith and Roy Eubanks, as well as program assistant Davin Thomas. Remember, you can email us your comments at realbusiness@power106-ja.com. That's realbusiness@power106-ja.com. My Facebook page is Real Business and Power 106 FM. Like the page. I'm Ralston Hyman.
And I'm Raul Pino.
Real Business, a production of the Power 106 Business Center.